Well, welcome to another edition of Financial Friday with Keesler Federal Credit Union. I'm Jim Tabor, and today on the show, we're going to be talking housing, purchasing them. Tom Quinn, who is the Director of Mortgage Sales with Keesler Federal Credit Union, is with us. Good to see you again, Tom.
Good to see you again. It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a while. We're going to talk about, purchasing a home right now. I mean, I'm a new homeowner, and there were a lot of new questions that I had that because it had been like 20-something years since I bought one, and I know things change all the time.
Always.
So, talk about your role, first of all, at Keesler Federal.
Okay, so I've been at Keesler Federal for going on 6 years now. I started off as an originator, working with our members to get pre-qualified to purchase homes, worked my way up to sales manager, now I'm the Director of Mortgage Sales. I oversee the whole front-end process of trying to get our members into home ownership. What we do first and primarily at Keesler is we focus on our members' needs first. We're not a simple mortgage broker shop looking to just push a loan. We're looking out for our members' financial future too.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing, and I think that's why we've been doing this Financial Friday series for over a month now with Keesler Federal, and it's been amazing the things that I have learned. But and I am a member of Keesler Federal. So,
good, glad to hear it.
But let's talk about first-time home buyers. I know that can be a scary thing. I mean, for me, having been so long, it was a little bit on the nerve-wracking side. But are there different loan options for a first-time buyer?
It is, and it's very scary. I remember back when I bought my first home, it's actually how I got interested in mortgage. I bought my first home, and I had no idea what happened. I signed all this paperwork, and about 6 months later, I was thinking to myself, I really should have paid more attention. I don't even know really what my interest rate is. I just wanted to get into this home. There are multiple products that you can fit as a first-time home buyer. FHA is primarily where a lot of members go to first. It's through the Federal Housing Administration. It's a 3.5% down payment. The DTI, debt-to-income ratio limits, are a little more forgiving, along with the credit scores. But there's mortgage insurance that they have throughout the life of the loan on it. It's a government-backed loan. You could fit into a conventional loan as a first-time home buyer too if you have enough for a down payment. A little as 5%. We're a Freddie Mac lender. They require 5%, but they do have a first-time home buyer program that only requires 3%. At Keesler Federal, a year ago, we actually rolled out our own portfolio program for a first-time home buyer where there is no down payment required. There are some guidelines that we have to meet, but we do everything in our power to try to make sure that we can get a first-time home buyer into a home when they come in to see us. If we can't get you qualified, before you leave, we're going to make sure you understand what steps you need to take to try to get to that point. And mostly, it's just a little bit of time.
I know that's one you covered a lot there, but about the down payments, because I know that's one of the biggest questions a person's going to have. How much am I going to have to come up with to purchase this home? What do I qualify for? What additional costs do I have to pay besides my down payment? Yes,
that's huge, because you think about the down payment first and foremost, and you should, because that's how you get into the door. But after that, there's closing costs that are associated with the process too. At Keesler, our closing costs are minimal in comparison to our competitors. But they're going to run you, no matter where you go, through your lender, it's going to be about $1,000 in closing costs just to get through the function of the loan itself. But then you have to pay a closing attorney, and they have their own fees. And you can shop closing attorneys along the coast and find a rate that works for you. But then in the home you're purchasing, you have to purchase a insurance program to go with it. And that could be ranging all over the ballpark right now. If you're in a flood zone, you have to have flood insurance. All those fees are part of your closing cost at the end. So you have your down payment plus your ancillary fees that come in association with it. You can negotiate with the seller of the home to try to cover some of that, especially in a market now where it's kind of slowed down. But you're looking at, I usually tell people, if you're putting down your 3.5% payment, you're probably going to come out of pocket for $4,000 more, $4,000 to $5,000 more.
Now, you mentioned something that a lot of people, whenever they hear those two words, they go, flood insurance.
Yes.
That's something that actually, from what we were discussing before we actually went on the air, we're doing pretty good compared to our friends over to the west.
So this is a nationwide issue that's developing if you have NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program. It's through FEMA. FEMA in 1968 was tasked with creating a program. They've come out with a new scoring model. Everyone's familiar with the flood maps after Katrina. You're in an X zone, an AE zone. Those don't mean as much as they did a couple years ago. Basically, those just tell you if you need flood insurance. They use Risk 2.0 now, which is where they base their premiums off of, and they're skyrocketing across the nation. There's different senators in Louisiana. Cindy Hyde-Smith in Mississippi is backing up a lot of it. Marco Rubio in Florida. We're looking at Mississippi. There's 32,000 participants in the flood insurance program, and their premiums going up on an average of 149%. In Louisiana, some are going up upwards to 600–800%. And this is going to price out a lot of people from purchasing a home and refinancing their home and selling their home, because it's affecting their bottom dollar and what their budget allows. So this is a huge issue that's going to be on the forefront and needs more attention to, but hopefully we get some correction in place.
That's amazing. Unfortunately, where I recently bought is not in a flood zone.
No.
I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so let's talk about from beginning until I walk in the front door with that key. How long does the process normally take as far as getting that loan, especially for a first-time buyer? And
that's the million-dollar question. And you'll hear different time frames. A lot depends on the loan program you're in. Government loans take a little bit longer. Conventional programs are a little bit shorter. It's a little easier to qualify. The guidelines are a little looser. The average is 30 days. At Keesler Federal, we've gone through an evolution in our process on the front end. We actually average 25 days to close a purchase loan right now. And if you get us everything quickly, and all the third parties involved do too, we'll get down to 21 days on average.
Okay, and one that you mentioned about buying a piece of real estate, somebody else's property. There are, I know, a lot of times incentives with working with different real estate companies to buy new builds. A lot of those going up all over the place.
Always,
and all my travels around the coast doing shoots for the show, it's just like, coming soon. There's all this. So with so many different home builders, so there's a lot of incentives right there to come to you for a loan, because these real estate companies, these builders, are offering a lot of incentives too.
And we also have incentives too. We've launched programs for first-time home buyers, for teachers, first responders. We have offerings.
Military?
Yes, of course. So we have a lot of offerings for our community to try to help them get into that home.
Now, again, if somebody wants some information on this, they come to you or call and make an appointment. Numbers on the screen. You can call and make an appointment with you, set up a time to come and to apply for a loan. Yes,
we by phone, by appointment. You can come and visit us. We'd love to have you part of the family. When you get a loan with Keesler Federal, you're a partner for life. Our servicing, we service everything in-house. We retain that with that mortgage, and so you're going to be with us for 15, 30 years if possible, and we'll take care of all your other needs too
25.
along the way. We'll bump it up to 30 a little while.
Yeah, I'll be up there. I've been there for, like I said, 25 years. I've been a member of Keesler Federal Credit Union. It's been awesome. Tom Quinn, Director of Mortgage Sales at Keesler Federal Credit Union. Thanks for being with us. And again, if you looking to be a new homeowner or buy another home, give them a call. Keesler Federal Credit Union.